Alright, all you Streetlight Crusaders, and I guess a couple of you wrestling fans out there tonight, welcome back to the Tuesday Night Special. And now it's time for us to talk about what happened during this week's edition of Monday Night Raw from the Perfomance Center in Orlando, Florida. And apparently, according to the maestro, it was approximately 70 degrees there today. Oh, not bad. And besides that little miniature weather report from the maestro, folks, Monday Night Raw would kick off with not only a beautiful package featuring Becky Lynch and her announcement of becoming a mother last week, but would also begin with Randy Orton calling out Edge once again by not only telling him he does not need ladders, tables, chairs, or to be the last man standing, because he can do what he does in the ring better than anybody else in the locker room or anybody else who tries to come into this company as an athlete, and would even go on to say that Edge lost his grit and now has doubt in his heart and fear to fight him in a regular match. Only for Edge to come out and to talk about his history as a wrestler and the fact that Randy Orton had everything still handed to him, and the fact that when he won his first Intercontinental Championship, he went home and cried and was considered as one of the greatest workhorses, or at least tried to fight as one of the greatest workhorses in this company's history, only to become it, only for Randy Orton to stop him from his dreamlike rhetoric, only to tell him, do you accept my challenge or not, for Edge to finally say, yes, I accept your challenge, for Orton to drop the microphone, and for everybody to say that this is gonna go down as one of the greatest wrestling matches of all time. Which means it's now official, folks. Edge versus Randy Orton at Backlash in less than 3 or possibly 2 weeks. And as a matter of fact, both of these gentlemen have a lot of history at Backlash, not only involving getting revenge, but also winning championships in the process. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Edge won his World Heavyweight Championship at Backlash thanks to the Big Show. Randy Orton ended up getting revenge on Triple H from WrestleMania 25 at Backlash. So yeah, they both have an edge, so to speak, at Backlash, and I can't wait to see how it turns out. And besides that unintentional pun that the maestro said that I made, the first match to take place on Monday Night Raw would see none other than Humberto Carrillo going one-on-one against the disciple himself, Murphy. And the only reason this match went down is because Seth Rollins, aka Seth Metal, CrossFit Jesus, the Monday Night Messiah, would come out to the ring and explain what happened to Rey Mysterio was an unfortunate thing, and would not take responsibility for the fact that he tried to literally gouge a man's eye out with the edge of the steel steps, and would say that it was a necessary thing to happen for Seth Rollins to finally come out of this funk that he was in after losing that match against Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship, to finally become the leader that everybody needs him to be. So yeah, basically he would be delusional with this whole I almost gouged a man's eye out, only for Humberto Carrillo to come out to try to challenge him in the honor of Rey Mysterio, only for Seth Rollins to feed him to Murphy, and for this match to go back and forth, including Murphy hitting a kick to the back of the head of one Humberto Carrillo during this match, and even pulling him off the top rope at one point during the said contest, for Humberto Carrillo to even hit Murphy with not only the windmill kick for near fall, but also hit him with a springboard ensiguri to the outside of the ring, a rope flip plancha, and then would try to go in for the kill by trying to do his Esse Rios like moonsault. But with Seth Rollins on the outside of the ring staring a hole right through him, he took his eye off the ball long enough for none other than Murphy to get back up and hit him out of midair with what we like to call around here a tiger knee right to the face, right directly into Murphy's Law, for Murphy to win this match via pinfall. And for Murphy, after the match was over, to beat the Living Daylights flag tag out of one Humberto Carrillo, only for Aleister Black, who was still angry after last week, to beat the crap out of him. And for Seth Rollins to just walk away from all the chaos like it was never going on in the first place, and for Murphy to avoid a black mass from Aleister Black for a match to take place later on tonight between the two. And the next match to take place on Monday Night Raw would see Charlotte Flair going one-on-one against Ruby Riott. And during this match, action will go back and forth in the unorthodox offense of one Ruby Riott would almost take the queen off her game, because despite getting her arm banged against the ring post during this match and the brawl that would happen leading to the outside of the ring between the two, Ruby Riott would be able to pull off a flatliner leading directly into what I thought was going to be a Rings of Saturn during this match, but unfortunately due to the arm damage that would happen to her during the match, she would not be able to capitalize on that said move, but instead would then try to go for her riot kick during this match. But yeah, once again, the queen would be prepared for that, and it would lead directly into the figure 8 leg lock, with Charlotte using one arm like a tripod, almost the same way she did at WrestleMania 34 against Asuka, for Charlotte Flair to win this match and to beat yet another member of the Riot Squad in the course of a week or two via submission. And apparently after the match was over, Liv Morgan would then decide to deliver a message that, according to the Maestro, we got out of order by saying that she was more like her mom than ever because she didn't quit, and she's not going to quit until she becomes women's champion of Monday Night Raw. But the person she would have to go through would be the person who would celebrate her new championship and the fact that she would be a Grand Slam champion, none other than the Empress of Tomorrow herself, Asuka. And during this celebration, besides the Pirate Princess Kairi Sane bringing up her whole history of winning championships in the company of WWE, and all the way from NXT to the main stage of the main roster, Asuka would celebrate by dancing around just like she did last week, almost similar to the same way I did when I got a scratch-off ticket that had well over a certain amount of money that was in the triple digits. And let's just say that was a cool moment in my life too. But besides that moment that I'm not going to discuss so people don't ask me for money, folks, Asuka would continue on with her celebration with Kairi Sane about the play from the Emerald Flute of Happiness, is what I'm calling it. But unfortunately, that happiness would be short-lived because Nia Jax would come out and try to spoil the celebration by telling Asuka, "You are the luckiest temp champion ever," because unfortunately Becky Lynch can't fight anymore because she's on maternity leave. And would say that a real champion's gonna step up to the plate real soon, and it's gonna be someone bigger, better, and badder than you. Now, granted, she didn't say that, but yeah, pretty much what she said, and Asuka took offense to it to the point that she decided to beat the Living Daylights flag tag out of her with not only a kick to the head, but a hip attack, knocking her right directly out of the ring for her to say something in Japanese that I got a feeling was not safe for TV, and for Asuka to just watch as she went up the ramp. Now, to further get this out of the way, because it happens in sequences, folks, later on that night, a jealous and embarrassed Nia Jax would take out Kairi Sane while she was trying to practice with her Flute of Happiness, only to knock her into a crate and for Kairi Sane to tell Asuka it was her. Almost similar to that McDonald's commercial that involved that boxer with that guy who had his fries stolen. And if you've never seen that commercial before, it's absolutely hilarious. But back to what happened to Nia Jax after she did that. She would then get questioned by Asuka for Asuka to get disrespected once again from Nia Jax, only for Asuka to grab her by her hair and then high roundhouse kick Nia Jax in the head, causing her to tumble right through the table and for her to get embarrassed yet again, which was absolutely hilarious. And with that little sequence out of the way, folks, we go into the next bit of business that happened backstage, which would involve Bobby Lashley talking to none other than MVP once again. And MVP would say, I bet it makes you mad the fact that you aren't in a championship picture, but hey, you already got a trophy already. You got the trophy wife, Lana. And then would say, oh, don't get angry at me. I'm just trying to motivate you since you hadn't had a championship match in well over 13 years. And bringing up the whole Great American Bash match that he had against John Cena, which was the last time he had a championship match. Only for him to say, when are you gonna let Lashley be Lashley? Or let loose Lashley out of this metaphorical cage that he's already in? And he would get his answer with the next match of the night, folks, which would be none other than Bobby Lashley going one-on-one against R-Truth / Pretty Ricky that would make an appearance during this match. And then we would hear R-Truth say, after Bobby Lashley would bully him into the corner, oh, you're gonna depot me, Bobby? You're gonna depot me into the corner, Bobby? Really, Bobby? That's what you're gonna do? You're gonna depot me in the corner? Only for Pretty Ricky to make an appearance outside of the ring to try to get Lashley off his game. Only for Lashley to be more focused than ever after the speech and talk that he had with MVP, for him to not only get sent into the turnbuckle post on the shoulders of Lashley, which from the angle I was looking at, it looked like Lashley hit his head off the ring post. But then again, you know, he probably hit him rib first into the ring post. But ultimately, this would lead to the downfall of not only Pretty Ricky, but R-Truth as well. Because after Bobby Lashley would try to slap R-Truth in the face to get him to attack him, he would then get caught with not only a nasty spine buster, but also a full Nelson into a full Nelson slam, then back into the master lock once again. And I almost forgot to mention, the beginning of the match, R-Truth would say that you're not going to put me in the Nelson from The Simpsons again. But unfortunately, yeah, he would, not once but twice, for Bobby Lashley to win this match via submission. Oh man, you're not going to put me in the Nelson from The Simpsons again. And I guess with that said, folks, and before we start having some form of laugh attack on this microphone, we might as well head back into the music, and when we return, we'll be back with the second half of what happened during Monday Night Raw from the Perfomance Center in Orlando, Florida, right after this. So don't fall asleep just yet, folks, and stay tuned.